Hello. Today marks 35 years that this body has been on this planet. And I frame it this way because while this body has been here for 35 years, I've not really been in it for 35 years. I spent a lot of my life being disconnected from myself, from my body, from life itself, from nature, from the universe, from everything, from people. I felt very isolated even when I was present, very disconnected, very lonely for a long part of my life. And over the last few years, I finally truly found connection, first to myself, then to the world, to life, to nature, to earth, and to people. Most importantly, to people. For the longest time, I was very negative, let's say, about people and humanity in general. I felt very hopeless. There was a deep sense of despair, and there was an absolute lack of trust. Like I couldn't trust anyone, including myself. I actually uh, advocated for antitrust, for distrust. Like you should not trust people. People cannot be trusted. People will hurt you. People will betray you. And it just drove me deeper and deeper into my isolation. And thankfully, I found my way out of it. Like, truly, this is one of the things I'm most grateful about is I found my way out of that mind state. And clearly, you can tell, today is not the happy birthday, joyful, ecstatic state that someone may expect on a birthday or whatever it is. Because last few days have perhaps been some of the darkest days in many years. And in a way, I'm actually very grateful about it because today morning I was able to finally feel very deeply into all of that, reconnect to myself and understand what was going on, and to be able to alchemize it into this message. That's why today, even before opening up any of my messages or anything, this is the first thing I'm doing on my phone. I'm recording this. I saw some notifications, what do you have planned for the, like, obviously wishing me, and then what do you have planned for the day? And I did not even open those notifications because I really wanted to deliver this straight from the energy that I was in a few moments before this. And it's been this bittersweet energy because it is one of the things that makes me sad about the state of the world is how disconnected we've all become from ourselves, from life, and from people. And so, what I was realizing today morning is that the next season of my work and my life really is about connection, about obviously deepening the connection to myself and to the people I love who are in my life, and to help people build connection and build trust. Because this is really what it comes down to. And I say this from being on the opposite end of the spectrum as someone who did not trust anyone at all. I, in fact, distrusted people actively, as I said. And coming from there, like, I know the journey of trust. I know it intimately, I know it deeply, and I know that a lot of people, a lot of people suffer deeply because of this. Because just think about this for a moment. What is it that cuts most deeply? It's not a loss of money, it's not a loss of, not a failure in your business, not something happening that is in all of these material constructs that we have created. And don't get me wrong, I love materiality, I love comfort, I love all the things that humans have created. Like, I love technology, I love all of this. So, this is not about hating all of that. But I will get to that soon, because to enjoy all of that, we need to feel whole and happy first. Otherwise, it just becomes empty. Not It's not even pleasure. It's just keeping us occupied and busy. But coming back to my point before, what is it that cuts most deeply? It's not all of these losses and failures that happen in something that's a construct like business or some kind of success or money or all of this. What cuts most deeply is people. It's people. When we feel betrayed, when we feel like we have disappointed someone, when we feel disappointed by someone, when we feel rejected by someone, when we feel abandoned by someone, these are the things that cut deepest. These are the things that break our trust. And when it has happened enough times, they don't just break our trust in specific people, they break our trust in humanity. And this is what had happened to me over over the duration of my life, and where I had reached that point where I really did not trust anyone, including myself, because I had hurt people, because I had behaved in ways that did not, yeah, that just hurt people and made me sad too. And what I have learned over the past decade and my journey to finding true connection, true love, and true trust with people, with myself, with life, is that we have not been taught. We've not been taught how to be human and how to deal with very core, basic human things, such as connection, such as trust, such as painful situations, such as humans being humans. And we've been painted with this very extreme version of humanity, is that if someone betrays your trust, it's immediately you give up on them and you walk away. If someone hurts you, if someone behaves inappropriately, if someone is imperfect, essentially, then you just give up and you walk away. And it, it it's not how life functions, like it's not when life gets difficult you give up on life. It's not when people behave imperfectly you give up on people. We learn how to be stronger in our love to connect with people. That's been my journey, is when I dropped these beliefs about people needing to be perfect for me to be able to trust them. That trust is not conditional upon people being perfect, life being perfect. I can only trust in life, I can only have faith in life when there's something, when everything goes perfectly. If the moment something goes against me I lose faith, it's like that's really not how faith works. And I'm talking about faith now. And before I go there, let me tell you that when I was in this space of absolute distrust, obviously I was also a very skeptical, atheistic person, not religious at all. I was, in fact, the opposite of religious. I used to hate religion. I used to look down upon people who were religious and make fun of them, and also be aggressive with them if they tried to convince me about something. But today I can actually say that I have become a religious person. But my religion is not a belief in some story, it's not a belief in some abstract entity or anything that we have created with our minds. My religion is life and humanity. And for me, the deepest understanding I have about religion is that in its essence, it's always been about our relationship to life. When we talk about relationship to God, what is God? God is life. And for me, religion is about our relationship to life. And for me, it doesn't make any sense for someone to say that they're not religious. We are all religious. We just differ in what we believe in. If we come down to this essential definition that religion is our relationship to life itself, do you trust life or you don't trust life? Really, it comes down to that. Do you feel connected to life? Are you disconnected and you're just operating in this very mechanical mental way? Are you connected to people? And that also speaks about your relationship to life. Do you trust people? That also speaks to your relationship about life. And relationship to life is your relationship to yourself. And that's why for me religion is like when you hear about all of these spiritual concepts about the God within and the divine within you and all of this, it's like for me it really comes down to this: what's your relationship to yourself? And when you see yourself as divine, and it doesn't have to mean anything, it's like just empty out that word of all the associations that you have with it, of all the definitions that you've given to the word divine, and you just connect with yourself as divine. Okay, I am divine. What does it mean? I have been given this gift of life, or I have this gift of life. I have received this gift of life. However you want to see it, I am alive. That is something truly special. And when you start looking at it from that very core fundamental level, that's when you start feeling what is truly sacred, what is truly special, what to be grateful for. You don't have to be grateful, but when you truly start understanding and appreciating that you are alive, because what is the other alternative? It's non-existent. It's not death. Death comes after life. It's like without life there is nothing. It doesn't exist. So you don't exist. None of this exists. That's life. Life is everything. Like just to understand this very essential core thing, that existence itself. And I'm not talking about survival, like just being alive is something so bizarre in a way, but also so special. It's so like what, what, how, like we are here. We can, it doesn't really matter how life came into being. How does it matter whether God created us, whether this is simulation, whether this is just random evolution from a Big Bang? How does it matter how we got here? We are here. Like, can you first just appreciate this before asking how and trying to figure out how and having beliefs about how? Because they're all just beliefs. Like, no one knows. No one knows. Everyone just comes up with theories. But those theories help you to have a relationship, to have a connection to life itself. So first connect to life. And then you start realizing the story doesn't really matter. Like, I truly stopped trying to understand where, because for me that answer truly doesn't exist. You can keep digging and coming up with answers, and science will keep trying to figure this out, and it will come up with one answer. But truly, it's like you, if you come up with a start, what was before the start? It just doesn't make sense. Like there is no rational, logical answer to this question. So we can keep breaking our heads about this and keep wasting our lives trying to figure this out. But first, can you just appreciate being alive? And what I have experienced in my life for a very long time, and what I have seen now in so many people, working with so many people over the past decade, is the doom machine, which nowadays is very amplified with social media and the news. And nowadays, I mean like the last 50 years, pretty much since the invention of mass communication, like we have just gone down deeper and deeper into this hole where the media has become this doom machine, but really it's just a reflection of us, and everything that happens in the collective is a reflection of us as a species. That works. Like, basically, news, like, let's take news or social media as an example. They literally just function on ratings. Whatever people tune into most, whatever people respond to most, is what gets the most money, and that's what gets published the most. And we are very addicted to this doom machine. And it's not new, it's been for ages. And what happens when we are in this doom machine is that we are just watching every second tick, waiting for when everything is going to blow up. How it will blow up, we don't know, but we keep coming up with theories for that too. There'll be climate crisis, there'll be war, there will be pandemic, there will be this, there'll be that, there'll be the whatever, God will destroy us because we have not behaved properly. Nature calamities, super volcanoes, comets, all of, like, we just keep coming up with ways that all of this is going to end. And when we are thinking in this way, when we are in that state of mind, it's very powerless, it's very helpless. Like, what can we do about this? And all we end up doing is that we get deeper and deeper into our anxiety, watching each second tick, doing something to make each second tick, occupying ourselves, being busy, avoiding and escaping, thinking about that. But the moment you stop being busy, it goes back to the doom machine. So then you become addicted to being busy. You become a workaholic, you become an alcoholic, you become addicted to drugs, you become addicted to television, you become addicted to food. But it's constantly something to keep this anxiety at bay. As long as you're busy, as long as the mind is occupied, it cannot think about the doom machine. The doom machine gets disactivated in a way, deactivated in a way, because the mind is busy doing other things. And I spent a lot of my life in that state. And once again, thankfully, I I found a way out of it. I found a way to truly enjoy being alive and focus on the things that go well. It, the thing is that I do not escape duality. I do not avoid looking at what's happening in the world, because a lot of spirituality is about that. Just focus on the positive. When I'm saying what I'm saying, it's not to deny what's happening in the world, because that's what keeps the anxiety alive. Is that then spirituality becomes another drug, because you're just constantly thinking positive thoughts to avoid feeling that anxiety. But the moment you stop thinking, here it goes again, here it goes again. And what I'm talking about is not using spirituality as a drug, not using religion as a drug, not using your mind as a way to escape this deep rooted anxiety that we have all become so identified with, that has become so present in our lives. I am talking about, there is only one real way to get out of that, and that is trust and power. Trust in your power to deal with life, to deal with whatever happens in life. This is the only thing that really works. And this is not about the tool or the modality or the techniques that you use. And for years, I was learning these different techniques, and I was watching all of these people on the internet selling all kinds of things. And what I realized is that all of them work and none of them work. And it all depends on who you are being in that moment. If you are the one who's in the state of mind to make it work, anything works, any modality works. But if you are in this anxiety, powerlessness, helplessness, and you are not being the one who's trying to shift that, but you're being the one who is giving into that, nothing works. Nothing works. The most powerful techniques in the world will not work. And if they work temporarily. You just keep going back to that and it just becomes a loop. And you become dependent on this technique, on this modality, and you're constantly having to, like like use that every time to just keep getting out of it. And that's why they're, in my experience, and humbly speaking, I have a lot of experience in this field because I went through the whole journey. I've been through the whole spectrum. I've been on the complete opposite end of absolute paranoia with everything, like full on doomsday, full on end of the world, full on climate crisis, war, like really like obsessing about this. I've been deep in that for years, super depressed, suicidal at times. I have really been on the complete end of that spectrum, except actually taking that last step. And it's not like I did not try. But when I realized that, eventually I realized that it's not about escaping, and what really works is not a specific method, it's not a specific modality, it's not a specific tool. All of those only help based on which state you're in. And that state is what's in your power, it's what's in your control. And it's not about the emotion, because depending on what state you are in, you can experience any emotion. You can experience any emotion. So if you are in fear and you experience love, so you're in the state of fear and you're experiencing love, the love will get reduced to fear, because that love will get poisoned by all the fear and the anxieties. Like, will this last? Will this person abandon me? Will they betray me? Will they reject me? What will happen? It's like the doom machine keeps going. When you're in fear, everything is alchemized into fear. When you're in the state of love, when you're in the state of joy, when you're in the state of trust, everything alchemizes to that. So you can feel fear, you can feel afraid, you can feel anger, you can feel hate, you can feel guilt, you can feel shame, you can feel jealousy, rage, you can feel anything. But if your base state has become fear, it will all alchemize. Oh, sorry. If your base state has become love and trust and power, everything alchemizes into that. And this is what I realized. Like, this is the most fundamental basis of how we function. And so all my work now is teaching people how to first be in this state. And that state begins with the contemplation that I gave you today. What I shared with you today is like, just start by connecting to yourself and to life through this very basic core thing of, it's so special to be alive. And however long it lasts, however I die and however we die, however this comes to an end, as long as I'm alive, am I appreciating it and am I living fully? And this is when I say living fully and living up to your potential, it's not about the productivity mindset and maximizing and, like, getting the most out of life from this desperate greediness. It's really coming from this deep gratitude, this deep feeling of, wow, it's so special to be alive. Wow, I am so grateful to be alive. And because I am alive and I don't know how long this lasts, I'm going to make the most of it. And if I come back in another life, I want to have the same feeling. And I want to live as many lives as I can with this feeling. I don't want to, if reincarnation is real, right? No guarantees, but let's say it is real. Let's say the afterlife is real. Let's say reincarnation is real. This is what I want to anchor into my soul, is who I am as a soul, as a being, is someone who is deeply connected to life, who's deeply appreciative of life. Because then my soul's journey is forever rooted in this, it's forever anchored in this. However long this life lasts, however many lives I end up having, when I've shifted my core relationship to life, it doesn't matter how long this lasts. Because I have even one moment of feeling this deep, deep connection to the divine. And this is what I call the divine. Like, it's this deep connection to life. It's nothing more. It's nothing more. It's just feeling deeply connected to be alive. It's it's feeling, right? It's feeling deeply connected to life. I'm not talking about thinking it, but it's actually connecting to life through yourself. Through yourself. Like, you are the only one who can connect to life as you. Like, there is no other way to connect to life other than through you. You cannot connect to life through a machine. You cannot connect to life through other people. It starts through you, through other people, through you, through machines, through you, through nature, through you, through anything. But you are the one who's connecting. So it has to start with you. It's your connection to yourself. And whoever you have been doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter the things you have done. Like, this is in ancient religion what it means that everyone can be redeemed. It doesn't matter what you have done, because it's not about forgiveness in the eyes of God or anyone. It's not even about forgiveness. It's like, you did what you did, you were who you were, but you are alive, you are still alive. However it is, you are still alive. Whether you have been a success, whether you have been a failure, whether you are broke, whether you are wealthy, whether you are guilty, whether you have sinned, whether you have been an angel, you are blessed, it doesn't matter. If your fundamental connection to life is broken, none of it matters. And when your fundamental connection to life exists, none of it matters. You start realizing none of it matters. It doesn't matter who you've been. But when you become connected to life, you become a different person. You cannot act out of alignment with life anymore. And this is what we are seeing in the world today. It's like, I, like I said, I love business. I love material pleasures. I love all of this. I love money. I love everything that we have created with our minds, but not the way it is happening today. The way it is happening today is so deeply disconnected. We are so obsessed with technology and the future that we are forgetting where we are building it on. And some of the loudest voices in the world have actually given up on humanity and the earth. Now it's a mission to Mars or a mission to space. And let me just say, like, I love the idea of space travel. I love the idea of becoming an interstellar species, but not because we have to escape from humanity and we have to escape from Earth. I love the idea of the potential and the opportunity for space travel as we get to, while we get to enjoy this life, this planet, and this species. I don't want it to be an escape plan. I want it to be, once more, the way technology has been, is just advancement that creates more beauty, that creates more opportunity. That's what happened with the internet, is that suddenly we got connected across the world. I get to do this video, you get to see it. That's the power of the internet, of technology, of social media, is that I get to deliver this message to you sitting in the middle of the jungle in Brazil, to every corner of the world, literally. That is special. That is a miracle. And this is how I would love to see advancement in technology is coming from this space. But the loudest voices in the world have become those of people who have no trust in humanity, have no trust in life, and have become disconnected from the planet, have become disconnected from the species. There is this fight for making, like making technology, making a country great, making this, making that. But all of it is very mental, all of it is very disconnected. Is it truly coming from, I love life and I want life to be great, I want life to be joyful, I understand how special it is to be alive, like, and working on making this planet first special to live on instead of making an escape plan. And what happens when we make an escape plan? What do you think happens if we as a species go to another planet? Why would we be any different? Why would we be any different on Mars or five light years away in some other solar system on some other planet? Why would we be any different? What is this escape plan? It doesn't make any sense. If we do not change as a species, as a people, we can escape to anywhere and we will still be the same people. That, like, this is the fundamental thing that we have not digested as a species. We cannot escape ourselves. And it starts with the individual. Like, this is what a lot of spirituality is about, is that you cannot escape yourself. You cannot escape life. There is nothing beyond life. Literally, if you can get that, what we call the afterlife is also life. What we call life is life. Another planet is life. It's all life. We cannot escape life. And we cannot escape who we are as we are alive. And so the only option really is to change who we are. And when I say change, in essence, it's coming back to who we truly are. At the root of it, we are life. At the root of it, we are the soul who became alive somehow. Doesn't matter how. But we are alive. We have life. We are life. Like, this fundamental thing cannot be escaped. And life is a duality. Life is not all happiness and stars. It's duality. There is pain, but that's part of life. And if we make our trust and our connection to life and ourselves and others and the planet conditional upon everything being perfect, everything being heavenly, we are doomed. We are doomed because this is what is creating the world that we live in. Everyone wants everything to be perfect, and if it's not, let's destroy everything. Until we learn to connect with people by embracing our differences, not setting aside our differences and embracing each other, but embracing our differences and embracing each other. Because if we set aside our differences for a moment and embrace, what happens tomorrow when there is a difference? We cannot just keep hugging and embracing and setting aside our differences. We need to be able to embrace our differences. And once again, that starts within you. Because you are a duality. You have two sides that are in conflict constantly. And until you learn to bring harmony to that, until you learn to create a harmonious union or an embrace of these two sides within you, you will never learn to connect with anything outside you in a true absolute way. I I use absolute instead of unconditional because unconditional is saying without condition, but what is it actually? It's absolute. It's whole. It's totality. It's to have absolute connection and absolute trust. We need to be able to embrace absolutely everything, everything that is life, and life includes darkness. Life includes pain. But when we realize that life has also given us the light and the power to deal with darkness and pain, that's how we come into a total embrace. Not by expecting everything to be perfect. This is the total embrace. This is how you develop a true connection to life. And when you can truly appreciate life, is that whatever happens, whoever you end up being, and whoever anyone else ends up being, and what they do and what you do, we are alive. Whether we end up blowing up this planet, whether they ends up being a comet or a super volcano or whatever, while we are here, what are we doing with it? What are you doing with life while you are here? Are you just isolating yourself deeper and deeper, being more and more disconnected? Or are you learning to embrace life? This is your dual counterpart. If you want to see it as two, it's you and life. But life is you. You are life. When you realize that this is the connection, there is no separation from life. You are life. That is when the union takes place. But as long as you see yourself as separate from life, that is what creates the disconnection. This is what comes back again to ancient spiritual principles of everything is one. But it's not. There is one and there is many, but it starts with being one with life. But after that, there is a duality. It is important to have boundaries. It is important to be separate. You are you are one and another is one. But it's not about being in these two disconnected bubbles. It's about connecting one with one. It's not about one is separate from the other. One is with one. It's one and one. It's not let's all become one and mesh together and lose our identities and forget that we need boundaries. But let's connect as full, whole individuals, embracing one another. But that can only really happen now. Maybe you start understanding that can only really happen when you fully embrace yourself. How can you truly meet another, connect with another, and embrace them absolutely and fully until you have done that with yourself? And that is when you start realizing that, again, coming back to ancient spiritual principles, what you hate in another is what you have not accepted in yourself. What you judge in another is what you have not accepted in yourself. And truly coming into this depth of connection, like with yourself first. Like when someone reminds you through pain, it's because that's where you are within yourself. Is that's what you have not accepted and embraced in yourself. And so it comes back to what state are you doing this from? When you keep coming back to the state of I am doing this as the one who trusts life, who loves life, who appreciates life, sees how special life is, and enjoys life whenever I can. When I am that one, that's when whatever is happening can be alchemized into deeper trust, into love, into power. But when you're being the other one, the one who's disconnected, the one who doesn't trust, the one who feels powerless, the pain will only deepen the pain and will just keep you deeper and deeper in the pain. It only disconnects you further and further. So, my message to you as I begin to close this is see everything as an opportunity to connect deeper with life and yourself, which are one and the same. Let today mark a completely new chapter of your life. That's how I see it. Today is the 35th year that my body has been here, and today marks the beginning of the rest of my life, of a completely new chapter in my life where I focus primarily on deepening my connection to myself and life, and through myself and through life, with others, with the planet, with the universe, with everything. Nature, my dogs, animals, everything. Let's connect at that level. And this is not about being any label, any identity. Like, you don't have to even call yourself religious. But for me, this is at the heart and core of every religion. Before the beliefs, before the constructs, before everything comes in, is this. It's just this. It's just this pure connection. And so, responding to some of the questions I had received in the notification, which I've still not opened, it's like, what's my plan for today? And I was really contemplating on this. And in the past, it's always, so I had two states. When I was in this very deep distrust and disconnected from myself, I would not celebrate my birthday at all. I would be completely like denying, like, I don't care about birthdays, and like, this is not who I am. And I would just be very disconnected from my birthday. Then, when I finally started connecting with myself, I would go celebrate my birthday, but it would always be about, doing something very special, luxury. I would go to some resort and get a massage. And last year, I spent this beautiful holiday with one of the people who's closest to me, and we went out somewhere, and it wasn't that much about luxury, and there was a lot of connection in that. But again, like, it was doing something special. And what I came to today, like, what is my plan for today, is just to spend time in connection. Connection first with myself, with the people I love, with my dogs, and with nature. So I'm going to go and spend a lot of time today in nature. I'm going to go into the jungle, connect, feel, feel this connection to the earth. Really, like, really feel this, that wow, we are here on this planet, and what a special planet this is. What a special species we are. However, we are perfect, imperfect, imperfectly perfect, perfectly imperfect. However, we are still special. Everything about life is special. And that's what I'm going to connect with today. And that's my invitation to you too. That's the field of energy that I'm holding. You can connect to it with me, through this video, just feeling this deep connection to nature, to life, to the world, to this planet, to the universe, to yourself. Thank you so much for sharing this experience with me, for being present in this experience with me. And I look forward to taking this deeper with you in future videos. So, thank you so much once again. Until the next one.